We bear witness there's one God to whom praise is due forever. We thank you for your presence. We thank you for your patience. And we apologize for our tardiness. We have come here today to speak out on behalf of this beautiful African-American mother and this beautiful African-American family and sister who was absolutely the victims of an absolute outrageous police attack. The Harris County Sheriff's deputies had no justifiable reason whatsoever to shoot into that apartment like they did, solely because they believed this sister was a burglar breaking into her own apartment. She lives here. She's a resident of here. She was not breaking any laws. She broke into her own apartment because she was locked out. And when they came, they never gave them a chance whatsoever to explain the situation, to explain what was taking place or what was happening. They automatically came up unidentifying themselves and shooting. And then after they shot, then they say Sheriff's Department. Why in the hell would you not identify yourself first? Why did you use your bullhorn? Why did you circle the complex from front to back and use your radio, your bullhorn, and say, come out with your hands up and identify yourself? Why did you shoot first, then identify yourself? You shot so many shots inside of that apartment. It's amazing, and only by God's grace, that this mother survived. You shot up this baby's room. This baby's room has over 20 bullet holes in it. Over 20 bullet holes. Right around 27 bullet holes. How in the hell can you all call yourselves well-trained police officers when you didn't even follow proper protocol and procedure? All you had to do was secure the perimeter, identify yourself. They would have came out and explained to you, there's no break-in. We live here. And even after she explained to the police she lived here, this was her home, they threw her to the ground, handcuffed her in the rain, and put her in the backseat of a car for hours. And this poor sister, she shot up. They didn't call for paramedics. They left her in there for a while, then made a woman shot 7 times. Shot 7 times, walked all the way out that apartment. And you see on the video, she walked all the way down the stairs. A woman shot 7 times was made to walk out of there and all the way down the stairs, even after she told them, we live here. Even after she told them, this is my apartment. The sister, Ebony, was in there screaming for help. They still didn't call 911 because they didn't give a damn if she died or not. We're asking for an independent investigation. We want an outside agency from the FBI to investigate this shooting. We don't trust no Texas Rangers. We don't trust the Harris County Sheriff's detectives. None of that. We want an independent outside agency to step in and investigate this. Even after they told you, we live here. This is my place. You still threw her on the ground and handcuffed her. And didn't go in and call 911 to get assistance. Medical assistance for the woman who was shot. You made her walk down the stairs, shot 7 times because you didn't give a damn if she died or not. Come on up here, sister. Tell what happened when you all got here then. Take your time.
So when we got to the house, we realized we didn't have the key. I told Ebony to break the window. That would have been the 3rd time the window would have been broken since I stayed here in the duration of 2 years. So the window being broken wasn't a big deal. The maintenance team is really good. They fixed it the next morning and they charged $60. So that's what we did. I didn't have a phone. My phone was lost that same day. So we didn't have a phone to call anybody. So I told her to break the window. I go inside. Once I went inside, we were there for about 20 minutes. The next thing I know, I hear loud banging on the door. And when they started banging on the door, I was like, what's that? What's that noise? Ebony grabbed her gun and ran to the door. I didn't hear anything after that. The next thing I know, Ebony came back and she said she was shot. So I ran to my son's room and I looked out the window. After she told me she was shot, I told her to call 911. So when I ran to my son's room, I ran back to her and I told her, it's the police. So imagine calling the police just to realize it's the police who's hurting you. The only crime that was committed that day was done by the police. So when Ebony was shot, I was not going to come outside. It took a while to come out because, of course, I was scared. I was thinking I was going to die. I was going to be next. I was going to get shot up next. That's all I could think. I was thinking I wasn't going to see my son again. I didn't know what to think. So after she said, if you don't go out there, they're going to come in here and kill us and not ask any questions. When she said that, that's when I knew I had no choice. I had to gather up every ounce of courage and strength that I had, and I had to head towards that door because my life and her life depended on it. So I go out the door, which is from what y'all can see. Everything else from that point on is y'all see it. Everything else from that point on is recorded. So I go out the door. I'm telling them I live here. I'm screaming. I see nothing but red and blue lights all through here. Nothing but faces, angry faces, face looks that can kill. So I'm walking down the stairs, trembling, telling them I live here as loud as I can, trying to enunciate myself and project my voice as loud as I can, letting them know that I stay here. Even after I explained that I stayed here and that I live here and that I've been paying my rent here for over 2 years, and let me go grab my lease agreement, let me show y'all my identification, let me show y'all, let me prove it to y'all, let me prove it to y'all that I live here. Let me prove something to y'all that I shouldn't even have to prove. Once I said I lived here, I understand it's their job and it's protocol, but that should have been that. Guns should not have still been pointed at me. So
these were a bunch of reckless cowboys, because even after they knew she was a resident, their behavior never changed. When you hear somebody bamming at your door in a high crime area, you have a right to go to that door with a gun in your hand to make sure you're safe. Ebony never shot at them. They saw through the window she had a gun, and as you see, look at the front door, they shot through the door. They shot through the door, not even announcing themselves. This is a disgrace. This is not what Harris County taxpayers are paying for. We in this county deserve better. We should be protected by law enforcement, not by a bunch of reckless cowboys just shooting all over the place. That many shots, and you were never even fired upon. You were never even shot at. That many shots, and you shot in a baby's room 27 times.
Well, this is clearly an example of shoot first and ask questions later. And that's exactly what Harris County displayed. We do not pay our tax dollars for you to shoot at constituents and then ask questions later. We pay for, as taxpayers, for you all to go through training, for you to use the proper training. We do not pay for you to come in and shoot up black women. We do not pay for you to come in and shoot up a child's bedroom. This is totally unacceptable. And as we do know that this is election season, and we're going to hold Sheriff Ed Gonzalez accountable for this, because this happened on your watch with your officers. So we want you to understand that us as taxpayers, we will not tolerate this. And Brother Cornell is absolutely right. We demand an independent investigation from the FBI on this. Now, just think, if this young lady did not follow and use her right mind to where she was not being confrontational, she would be the next one out of here in the body bag. And that is unacceptable. So Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, Harris County, we as taxpayers, we want accountability, because accountability breeds responsibility. And it's our responsibility as activists to support and stand in solidarity with this young lady and her family. And those officers that did that need to be suspended immediately pending an investigation. Thank you.
We'll take any questions. Come on back up there.
Well, just to make it clear, Ms. Ponce was armed, but no shots fired.
Not a single shot was fired. And she didn't point the gun. According to her own words, she never pointed the gun. And if you look at the front door, she only heard the bamming. They don't know who's bamming. That time of morning, 3 a.m. in the morning, bamming at your door, you got a right to put a gun in your hand to make sure you're safe. They don't identify themselves. They're bamming on the door. The minute they see her with a gun in her hand, she's coming across the corner they started shooting like reckless cowboys, not even knowing that children could be in the apartment. If other innocent human beings could be in the apartment, if there was a hostage situation and they needed to save somebody, if the residents were the victims of a home invasion, they just started shooting. This is madness. Any more questions?
Did they give a warning for her to drop the
No,
gun?
no. Next question. Not at all.
Ma'am, can I get your name?
Didn't identify themselves and never gave a warning.
Can I get your name?
LaRonda Berry.
And now that you've had a chance to digest what happened, what are your thoughts now that time has passed, that you know what you went through?
Well, actually, I really haven't had time to digest it. Since the 3rd, my life has changed. Since the 3rd, I've been going through it. Since the 3rd, I've been getting harassed. Since the 3rd, I have not been able to be in my own home. So I really haven't had time to process it. But even in that moment, I knew what I was going through and what Ebony went through. It was unjust, it was inhumane, and it was not okay. And that was what I could tell in that moment.
And your child, how's the child?
Luckily, my son wasn't there, because if my son was there, he would not be here with me. If Ebony's daughter was in there, she would not be here. And not only that, my house is the hangout spot for the kids in the neighborhood. My nephew lives with me. So anybody could have been in my home at that time. Not just her and I. Anybody could have been there.
Is Ebony your sister? Or
She's a friend.
Oh, friend. But she has lived with you for a while? Or
No, she doesn't live with me. She was just coming over to visit me. But this is my home. I'm the leaseholder.
And you're the one who broke the window, or she broke the window?
She broke the window. I'm the one that went through the window and let her in.
Because y'all didn't have the key for
Because we didn't have the key and no phone to call anybody.
We're going to invite you in now to take a look at the inside of the apartment.